A very warm welcome to IDFC FIRST Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. I'm Ritvika Gupta and you're watching India's longest running entrepreneurship show where India's small businesses take center stage. Season 13 is built around three powerful words: agility, ambition, ascent. Agility to pivot through global disruptions, ambition to push limits and dream bigger, and the ascent to rise stronger and smarter than ever before. So get ready for insights and inspiration as we help India's MSMEs rise, adapt and lead on IDFC FIRST Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. For over 12 powerful seasons, Leaders of Tomorrow has stood as the definitive platform for India's small businesses, offering inspiration, information, and a national stage for stories that matter. At the heart of the show is a simple idea: to champion the spirit of entrepreneurship by bringing you conversations with India's most promising founders and thought leaders. From tech disruptors and D2C warriors to legacy brands and first-time entrepreneurs, we cut through the noise and deep dive into what makes businesses tick. But we don't just stop at television. With our springboards, we hit the ground running, traveling across cities to foster live conversations between policymakers, entrepreneurs, and change makers. Our Leaders of Tomorrow broadcast, a digital-first series designed to feature candid and long-form conversations, has also spotlighted new-age Indian brands and the unfiltered side of entrepreneurship. And each season culminates in the Leaders of Tomorrow Awards, a flagship celebration that honors the most dynamic and disruptive MSMEs pushing boundaries across categories. As we step into Season 13, the theme is more relevant than ever: agility, ambition, ascent. In a world defined by uncertainty, it's not the biggest players who survive, it's the most adaptable. So how can MSMEs turn ambition into action? How can entrepreneurs navigate adversity while scaling? Join us this season as we answer these questions and shine a light on India's Leaders of Tomorrow. We are kicking off the new season with a power-packed conversation. Tonight on the show, we feature V Vaidyanathan, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of IDFC FIRST Bank, in a conversation with Mihir Bhatt, Managing Editor, Times Network, and Chief Business Officer, Times Influence.
Welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. As always, I have a very special guest with me for the launch episode, Mr. V Vaidyanathan from IDFC FIRST Bank. So thank you so much for joining us on Leaders of Tomorrow, and you have been our partner, and I'm glad to inform you that this is the 13th season, officially the longest running entrepreneurial show, one of its kind in India. Thank you so much. I'll start with the elephant in the room. Obviously, we'll talk about entrepreneurship, but what Mr. Trump has announced has actually rattled, small and big entrepreneurs alike. What is your initial reaction on this tariff which has been imposed?
Well, you really picked up the big item of the day. This morning we read the papers. At least industries like your apparel, auto parts, pharma, textiles, some of these industries were exporting. India exports to US like I think $75 billion. So let me say that if it's a 10% impact, it's $7 billion impact, a 20% impact, a $15 billion impact of exports to the US. Let me say somewhere in the order of magnitude, but it has more than the amount, it has many cascading impacts.
So do you see this as a temporary effect? Or if it stays for a slightly longer duration, then probably people will have to rethink their strategy.
See, we can't tell. These are matters happening between government to government, so it's not that we have a great amount of visibility. But as business leaders and entrepreneurs who are probably watching the program, they got to figure out what they're going to do with the situation. Maybe open up new markets away from the US, which they will do. There's Middle East, there is Africa, there are many more countries, there Europe. So maybe open new markets, maybe digitize better, maybe handle better cash flow management, maybe improve the quality of goods. So oftentimes when these kind of crises, which is a crisis, of course this one also is a concern, come when then the system evolves to the new situation. It may take its time, maybe a year or year and a half, but things will evolve back to a new way of working.
Right. So what should an MSME who is currently operating in India should do at this point in time?
Well, the biggest thing that is happening around at this point of time is, the digitization ecosystem in the country is changing so much, like so much, all the entrepreneurs have to now figure out how to connect into all these ecosystems. For example, if you're an entrepreneur, right, and you are used to manufacturing certain goods and you want to supply, but if you plug into the e-government e-marketplace, GEM portfolio, government e-marketplace, then you have access to the government orders.
Correct.
But without plugging there, you go nowhere. Similarly, connecting into the TRED platform. TRED platform, MSMEs can there's a large corporate which is buying from a small MSME, and that item can be discounted. The MSME can get the credit immediately, and then the corporate will pay the bank. So you have to connect in the platform. You have to connect in the GST platform. You have to connect in the IT ecosystem. You have to connect into, ONDC. You have to connect everywhere. So I would say, to be digitally connected, Indian government has made, and even with the RBI and the whole ecosystem, entrepreneurs have developed this ecosystem. Plug there.
Right. In fact, IDFC FIRST also has been working very closely with MSMEs, I would say, on developing their digital ecosystem, supporting them. Now there is also that element of AI, and again it's an unknown animal. People don't know how it will evolve. What is your take, the initial thoughts on this combination of digitization and now AI coming into play?
Actually, this AI is a very powerful thing and actually can make MSMEs better and stronger if they get to use it. It is usually thought that AI is something that large corporates can use, and therefore they have coders and they have engineers and they have all the stuff, they can do lots of things. But there are so many tools that are available in AI which the common businesses can use, common people can use, which dramatically improves their productivity. In fact, it levels them up with the others. If you're supposing an entrepreneur and you started up your digital marketing would be done by AI. Right. Your supply chain financing will probably be done dramatically differently by using AI. Your collection of bills, your creative, your material. So lots of things. You need an ad agency which only a large corporate could afford.
Correct.
Now, a small entrepreneur can use AI, make creatives.
Correct.
So what I'm trying to say is that this is actually leveler. Think of it like that.
Absolutely. It will democratize a lot of things actually. But India has seen a lot of growth, I would say, right from the government or the policy making level to corporates adapting technology, digitization I'm talking about, and even small entrepreneurs. Do you think at policy level or at governance level, we are doing enough to deal with the emerging AI technology or to adapt it more efficiently?
Yeah. You talked about digitization and you talked about what has happened in the last 10 years in terms of creation of these digital ecosystems has never happened before in the history of this country.
Correct.
This morning, I ordered, just to try the system, I went to one of the TPAs and I placed an order for some breakfast. That person, I think the entrepreneur or the restaurant is called Salad Days, somewhere near my home, and they delivered to my home, some breakfast. Now, it was just to test the process, but what has happened? That entrepreneur, Salad Days in that example, has not digitized, so to say, but what the person may or may not even have a website, I'm sure, I don't know, but that person is plugged into ONDC,
correct,
has plugged into some seller app. There are few seller apps in the country. They are sitting on a buyer app, Somebody like us is making the order, someone is delivering from there. So what I'm trying to say is that it's not that you have to have the best coders and the best, you have to simply plug in this ecosystem which India has created. So an Amazon cannot go and deliver a food parcel for me from nearby home and give it to me in 5 minutes.
Correct.
That's not what they configured for. But ONDC is conferring that happen, making a small entrepreneur successful by providing them an e-commerce platform for fresh delivery without having a website.
Right.
So these are examples what I really feel that how a small entrepreneur can plug into larger ecosystems.
Correct. If I understand it correctly, while digitization is a separate process, AI is a separate technology and process which eventually people will have to adapt. At some point, you do see them merging, coming together and creating a larger force, which if adapted well, can actually be a force multiplier for economy and entrepreneurship.
100%. In fact, they are going to seamlessly merge with each other. See, digitization is, let me give an example. We talked about plug into ecosystem, right? But if you think of digitization as such, it is like, if you're an entrepreneur and you're a trader, for example, your entire process of placing the order for your raw material, for your goods to arrive at you. Now, it may have been manual, but it could be done digitally through an app. Your inventory management can be done through an app. Your availing of a loan can be done through an app. Your collection of money from your customers can be done through an app. And some apps actually provide even end-to-end solutions. Banks are creating some of these capabilities, and our bank has developed this capability in many of these capabilities end-to-end. So these are digitization examples, or digitization or using the app, so to say.
Right.
Ecosystem is ecosystem. We talked about how you plug into many ecosystems.
Right.
And AI is the third angle we should think about. If you put all these three things together and fuse them together, you'll realize it's really very powerful.
But you've been also purposefully deploying, credit line or capital to small entrepreneurs, MSMEs. It's a very large base for you, per se. What is your visibility or outlook? Because typically in a slightly rough macro environment, they are the first ones to kind of take a hit and again turn to informal credit and so on and so forth.
No, it's actually the thing is that the Indian entrepreneurs are usually quite nimble. Even when we talked of this Trump and tariff and all that stuff, they're actually quite nimble. Think about how COVID happened. I mean, there was a world, overnight everything shut down and you can't meet anybody, and you have to, goods are not selling, people are selling masks. And whole industry started making masks. Right? Cottage industry became a cottage industry to a large corporate. Some auto manufacturers started making medical equipments in Pune or Rajkot and all. The PPE kits. Suddenly garment makers were making PPE kits. So these entrepreneurs are actually quite agile. So and that is how they survive, because they don't have the trappings of large corporations and many other things. So we must have confidence in that, and also we have all seen cycles, and this is very important to note actually.
Right. In fact, for this season, our theme is also agility, ambition, and ascent. I'll break it down in 3 points.
No, agility is a good line. In fact, the example I pointed out of making PPE kits out of garments, it's agility. World is shutting down, COVID is on, you can't meet each other, you're making PPE kits suddenly, because that's the selling item. So you should be confident. We should be aware of the risks coming, and we, meaning on the entrepreneurs who are watching the program, they need to move. And like they did in the past. But that's what I see in them. We've seen cycles over 20, 30 years. I do see this in them.
They are ambitious also, and obviously if they have access to more formal credit, they have access to more formal emerging technology, I think that can enable them and maybe speed up their growth.
That is absolutely correct. And formalization is a wave that's happening, and with the amount of digitization, UPI, etc., and ecosystems, formalizations are already happening. And I think they are participating in that. That's in fact another example of their agility. Look at how they all changed their way of working when demonetization happened. It happened, right?
Right. So your banking ecosystem, starting with your app and the overall ecosystem, it is considered one of the best in the country, and people swear by it, especially the app and the ease of doing business through that. What is now your priority?
Are you using it, by the way?
I use it. I totally use it, and I'm not saying this because I am speaking to you.
Yeah,
I actually find it very friendly, user friendly. What is your priority in terms of next set of change or next set of big reform that you want to do internally, which will have a direct impact on, let's say, customers or future customers? What is that going to be?
UI, UX and design. Because the tech stack is evolving, AI is evolving. How to use AI to make the app more friendly, more personalized, more contextual, and really good UI UX, because when you log in, it's the aesthetics of it, the joy that you experience by moving around within the app. Of course, aesthetic doesn't solve the whole thing. Along with aesthetics, you also need a great UX platform, the journeys and all that. And that we are very excited about all that.
Right. And let's say 5 years from now or 10 years from now, where do you see the bank's journey going forward?
We believe that we will see. We have put out a mission for the bank that we want to build a world-class bank. We set it out. It's an annual report. In fact, this year's annual report, the cover page, the theme is all about building a world-class bank.
Right.
So everything we do in terms of customer experience, customer service levels, we want to keep it very, very high. Empathy for our customers, and building a team culture. Everything is to build a world-class bank, and then along with time, scale will also come. I'm not looking at market shares and all that. I'm just looking at building a good bank.
Right. So, Leaders of Tomorrow is one unique platform, and like I said, it's in 13th season. I think we must have, together we must have touched upon more than at least 100,000 entrepreneurs by now. What is your message to them and to somebody who's thinking of getting into entrepreneurship?
My message is that I'm thinking aloud. I haven't thought about this, but I'd say that with the arrival of AI and new technologies, organizations will always, figure out how to make organizations itself more efficient. So entrepreneurship will have to grow, because if existing employees are going to do more work because of the power of AI, then where is the new employment going to come from? So new employment, according to me, will come from self-employment, from entrepreneurship. So India should also focus a lot on entrepreneurship. Our new generation coming from colleges, etc., should also focus on entrepreneurship, and opportunities of entrepreneurship expand in a massive way, and be very aware of the new technologies, and being aware and actually putting in practice will help you create a new age entrepreneurship.
Right. So thank you so much for joining us on this show, and I'm sure that the entrepreneurs will learn a lot from your words of wisdom and also through this series.
It's not about wisdoms. I mean, they all have their own wisdoms. They all are very. I meet so many of them. They have their own learnings and wisdom, which I'm very sure about. The thing that I see is that with the India growth coming about, which we talked about, even at the current rate of 6.5 and hopefully going higher, at that rate, which is probably 10 nominal, with growth coming and ability to use new technologies, will be an explosive, let me say, it can be a big opportunity.
Absolutely. So look forward to that. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Catch Leaders of Tomorrow Monday to Friday, 7:30 p.m. only on ET Now. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.